Oh, thank you. I'm here to introduce this Q&A panel. Kelly couldn't be here, but but I have the other one. So everybody, Nicholas Brendon.
Hello, Anaheim. Okay, I'm going to just line these up here like so. Brought my own. Here's water, by the way. And anyone who I've met at the table, you know this. This is a dog bite. It is not herpes. Not that there's anything wrong with herpes. So, there we go.
So
now you know.
He has 3 bottles of water and a glass, so we can take all sorts of questions. He will be properly hydrated.
I'm
so
here
if
for
you want to
3 or
start
4
lining up.
hours, yeah. Got some sunflower seeds in my pocket. Napkins.
I guess I will throw one out at you.
Hit me, Jackie. What you got?
Criminal Minds. Everybody loves you. When are you going to be back from Criminal Minds?
I just did. It's funny that you asked, Jackie. Because I just did the last episode. I just finished my my 3rd season on Criminal Minds.
Really?
Yeah, it's the 6th season of the show. They made some big changes this year, and then they realized that they are kids here. Yeah, whenever I see I was looking right there too, and I'm like, and then over, it's you guys though. You've heard this before. Oh, yeah. Then they realized they have to, so they hired the girls back. So I'm on the last episode of this particular season of Criminal Minds, and I'll be on season 9 of Buffy. It's coming. Have you guys not heard? Joss is, we're all back. Sarah just signed on yesterday. Are you raising your hand? Is there no microphone? I will repeat the question.
When you got hired, did the show know about your brother being a stuntman, or was it kind of an accident?
No, he accidentally fell into that. Literally. No, Kelly was, it's weird because they didn't even know that I had a twin, but Kelly had worked on the show in art department for the first 3 seasons. So it's kind of funny that, it's funny how like the executives don't see what they want to see. But I was actually sick one day where I couldn't go to work and I had to go to the doctor, so I was kind of like in the background, passed out. I think it was like in the library or something, and it was just a big fight scene. And I said, I need to go to the doctor, so I sent Kelly into work, and they're like, well, we didn't know that you had a twin. And I'm like, hey, why did I show up? And he like paid his rent for the last 3 years. So I said, well, can he do stunts? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, it pays better than his other thing. So he trained for like 3 days, and then I remember it was the first time it was some fight in a cave somewhere. And whenever he worked, we just kind of shared my trailer, and because I'm that nice, and so once we do the acting, and then they start doing the fighting stuff. So I'm in my trailer, and I'm just like right about to kind of like get into REM sleep, that kind of like trailer sleep's the best, by the way, when you're getting paid for it. And I hear, I'm like, come in. Okay, just want you to know, Kelly's okay. I'm like, what the fuck is that? What's going on? So he just needs his, he said his bag's in here. And I'm like, what's what? He's like, well, we had an accident. And on the first night, it was probably the hardest night he's ever had to do on the show. He had to fly over some rock, and they like miscalibrated the weight, and I come out, and Kelly's shoulder is like bent around his head. And so they took him to UCLA Harbor, and popped back in the van, and then they fired him. he got a phone call that night. They fired him, and I called the producer, and I'm like, come on, you know. So then they realized that maybe that was a bit hasty. So they rehired him, and that's how we got the job. I'm gonna blow my nose real quick. I apologize. I am gonna auction this off after we $5. You got shit in mind that's more important than this, buddy. So you pay too much for my bodily fluids. Sure. How's it going, man? Just ask your fucking question.
As an actor, how did you prepare for the role for Pinata? And did you draw at all from the role of Psycho Beach Party?
Well, I think the movie that the working title would be Demon Island.
Demon Island.
Oh, well, no, working title was Killer Pinata, but then no, yeah. What I did in Killer Pinata / Demon Island was take that $150,000 check and deposit it into my account.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
How long did it take you to learn and then film your dance sequence?
Let's see here. We did, because we had to sing too. So we were probably in there for about a week. Like, so we would go to work and then do our, because I know this kind of sucks too, but because, you know, it's like we knew that we were going to do something special with this musical, but, you know, it's like after you're done acting for like whatever, like 8 or 9 hours, it's like now you have to go to dance rehearsal, you know? You just want to go home. I didn't want to be a dancer. So it was probably about, I'd say like 20 hours working in front of a mirror, because once it sticks, you know? And then the singing part of it, I think I was in the studio for 2 sessions. It's amazing when you're not a singer how quickly you lose the ability to sing, you know? Because you're trying, because you know, I wasn't trained as a singer, so it's kind of like I was using the wrong part of my vocal cord. But so I'd say about a week. I mean, it's, you know, I played this rapist on a show called Private Practice this last year. And essentially, when we were doing it, it's the same thing. It's a dance because, you know, we probably shot that scene for about 7 or 8 hours, that particular rape scene. But it was always shot in the same, you know, it's when you're doing stunts or fighting, it's the same thing as dancing. I mean, and if you looked at The Office, you know, because we use different colored tapes for actors, for their marks where they're supposed to be. I mean, you'd see all these things, and it looked like it was like, you know, like an Arthur Miller dance school thing, you know? I mean, so it's funny. So doing stunts and dancing are essentially the same thing as rape. Any takes. I'll wait till I get it nice and TV. That's what you're waiting for. What do you want, chunks? Is that what you're waiting for?
DNA.
DNA? This is nothing but DNA here. You want to come up, John?
It's just kind of random, but I was wondering, since you did so many action sequences in Buffy and you were in Pinata, do you think you'll ever do any more horror movies? Because you suit them really good.
I do suit them well. I'm trying to, I did, well, I played, like, are we talking like bloody horror type stuff?
Talking like if Evil Dead made a prequel from when he's young, would you play a young Bruce Campbell?
I would play a young Bruce Campbell. I play him. Don't you think about calling me Ash? Love that story. You're welcome. Or call me Ash. Call me Ashhole. You know, yeah, get the chair. No, I like that idea. Oh, are they hooked in together? No, I like that idea. Can you pull that chair out and stand up? Affleck. All right. No, don't feel silly. Look at my hair. There we go.
You have a lot of screen chemistry with Emma Cox.
Mhm.
And I was wondering if you enjoyed playing her boyfriend on Buffy as opposed to Charisma.
What, where we didn't have any chemistry? Essentially? Well, you know, my girlfriend's here, so take off your top. No. No, you know, Emma is just crazy, and I'm not particularly that sane from time to time. So I think it's kind of when you have like two crazies get together, then, you know, because I felt that, you know, that James and I had a lot of chemistry too, but James is not crazy. And no, he's not. He just really, you know, it's about the work. But, you know, when we got together, I mean, like, our on-screen chemistry was not sexual. Or was it? I mean, aren't there stories out there about, like, aren't there, like, gay, like, Giles and Xander, and then Spike? Is there stuff like that? There is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I just think that it was because we were both kind of crazy and just kind of, you know, that played well on in front of the camera. Oh, only yeah, no. I was married at the time. And had a dog. Can you please put that chair back? It's a fire hazard. Yes.
I was wondering exactly what were you doing with the dog to get picked on the list?
I was spading him with my teeth. No, I was just, you know, I took my dog Steve to the dog park. Then there's a puppy there, you know, and I kiss things on the mouth. Like sea urchins and things like that. So, you know, it's just the curse of being so awesome, really, you know what I mean? So, but, yeah, I figured you would be. Okay, it is herpes. You happy now? Man, I can't wait. You know what? And when I'm done, I think I'm back at my table at like 3:30. Free kisses for everybody. Especially you. And I had tuna for lunch, so you guys are screwed. Jackie, you have a question? Hi, Green. How did I overcome it? My stutter as a child. I developed my stutter when I was around 7 or 8. My mom still refuses to call it a stutter. She's like, oh, Nicholas, you have a stammer. I'm like, Mom. She was supposed to be here today. She was, I don't know. I honestly, after, because I played baseball through high school and then I was little in college, and then my mom was an agent, and I just always wanted, she had like represented Al Montanaro on Happy Days, who was like, you know, Big Al. And then, so I would go on the set of Happy Days, and I'm like, you know, this is when like, you know, like when Richie Cunningham was still on that stuff. I'm like, oh my God, you know, like the sets and how everything was like real but fake, you know? And I loved that real fakeness about it. So I knew that if I wasn't playing baseball, I would act. But I knew that I had a stammer or a stammer. And so when I quit playing baseball, I just, I enrolled in an acting class because I was very shy too. And it gets sadder. This is the happy part. And to be honest with you, at one point, I remember as I was kind of going through it, I prayed to God. I said, can you please just make my brain like a blank slate, you know? Because I was just, I think being a twin didn't help because the first person that talked was listened to. So I just kind of had to try and, I mean, I still can talk really fast and do all that stuff, and sometimes I still stammer, but it's just a matter of, I just had to really slow everything down, and I did a lot of tongue twisters, which really helped. I couldn't say the word turtleneck when I was a kid. Like I would call, you know, I would call information, and Kelly would be there, and you know, it's like, we lived in Chatsworth, and I'd have to say like, kind of a punk. And like, hello, city, please. And then I had to give Kelly the phone. From the park, yes, Foot Locker, please. You know, so it's kind of. And then, oh God, selling candy bars and magazines door to door. That's tragic. I mean, that was just horrible. I mean, but how do you say no to a kid doing? You know, it's like that thing would go away. You know, I'm pissing myself. You know. Like, that's the kid from across the street, right?
The retarded one.
Started wearing a helmet everywhere. It was bad. So I hit baseballs until I didn't enjoy it anymore. Yes, sir.
Was it you or Kelly that did the Snoopy dance?
Well, I was in all the shows.
Yeah, but
Kelly.
it was both of you in that episode.
Yeah, no, but I played both those characters. Yeah, I changed my outfit a lot. That's the thing. People say, so were you the frumpy one or were you the cool one? I figured I would be asked to do the Snoopy dance, and I will do the Snoopy dance right as I'm leaving. So then if people want to take pictures of the Snoopy dance, then that can happen. But it will happen because I figured that it would, and I have to empty my pockets and stuff. Yes, darling.
Are you gonna do one of your plays anytime soon?
I just finished a play. You mean one that I've written? Steve Loader, have we written a play?
Working on it.
Okay. So I just finished the one-man show, the Sandland Diaries. The NO, right? So no. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not, but there's nothing in the near future. But it's that business, baby. Happens like this, I mean, I could go home and have like 6, 7 play hoppers on my answering machine. Because you know what? I still have an answering machine. And a rotary phone. You know what that is?
No.
Hollywood 459. Hollywood 459. Yes. Giraffe.
Do you have any kid-friendly projects coming up?
Do you have any kids?
Kid-friendly projects.
Okay. Have you taken your kids to Disneyland?
Yeah.
Did you splurge on that?
Yeah.
Cheapskate? We were actually just talking about this because I did a movie called Golden Christmas, which I call Golden Showers. And it had both a dog and a kid in it. I'm actually not legally allowed around kids. So, like, I think you're a little bit, if my lawyer were here, you'd be a little bit too close to me. It's a joke that you'll understand when in about 10 years.
She knows now because we told her about you.
Oh, good, okay.
We explained it to him early.
Yeah. No, nothing kid-friendly, but nothing kid-hatey either. It's gonna say kid-middle. Does that sound good? I like your new haircut. Oh, that's not your hair. Okay. Yes?
What is your favorite or funniest pooper?
Pooper? Well, I was 18. You're looking at pooper. Probably a baboons. Weird, But I guess easier to wipe. Blooper. I have some really funny pooper stories for you. This morning I shit out the continent of South America. I mean, Argentina was a little weird, but it was pretty much South America. The first season we were allowed to have fun, but then they realized that they had a hit on their hands, so then they took everything very seriously. So we had this producer by the name of Garrett Davies, who I love to death, but he's the one that actually fired Kelly after he separated his shoulder. He would come on set and there was not particularly any fun happening because we were always behind schedule because it was a very inventive show. But in the Pack episode, and I told the story because there's one actually where James was fighting and that's it. It's a James movie, but in the Pack, in the scene where we're playing dodgeball, was Pants by Sarah and Allison. Well, the camera was rolling, and at this particular time in my life, I didn't really have a washer and dryer, so I wasn't wearing any underwear. So I was like in front of all the actions and stuff, and I'm just kind of hanging out there. And they were filming it, and Michael Gershwin, the DP, said, "Don't worry, we're gonna erase that." And he did, because I'm sure it would have come out. And it was so cold in that gymnasium. in that pool and go fish too. Put me in a speedo. Bastards. It's freezing that day. Yeah, I said pad it. I said you pad that. But I think my favorite one was and I would tell the story in front of James, but he hates it when I do. James being a theater trained actor, especially when he came into Buffy, was very kind of, go hung, and we were, our caves were made essentially of paper, and they would spray paint them to make them look like rocks. So there's a scene where, we're fighting, and James kind of kicks, and literally kicks through the wall, which is paper, disappears into the rock. Which, at that point, it's kind of, the shot's done. Just for continuity's sake, we have a hole in the rock. But he literally hops through the rock and continues. And I just thought it was so adorable. It was like his first or second episode. He's like, we're doing the scene, and I'm like, it's cracking up. Because it's like, there's just a little hole, and then he kind of hop back through it as fast as he hopped out of it, It was just adorable. Never been friends. I'm like, hey, you're awesome.
Joss likes to kill off a lot of main characters. Did you ever feel like you weren't going to make it through a season?
He was going to kill me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was going to actually, the writers had to talk him out of it in the final episode. Instead, I lost my eye. The writers, he was going to kill Xander, and the writers had said that if you do that, you'll probably alienate a lot of the fans. So, especially since, Xander was essentially Joss.
Yeah.
But that's why I lost my eye. And I had to read it, too. I didn't know. They didn't tell me beforehand. I'm, reading, we're kind of on the countdown. I think it was like 4 episodes before we were done. And I'm reading through, and then it's like, and then Caleb puts his left thumb in, Xander's left eye. And I'm like, wait, what? Because usually as an actor, it's like, and this is one of, I have to get over this, even when I'm auditioning. It's like, I don't read the shit that is in between, It's always just whatever with my lines, and then I'll figure out what the emotion is. And there's a lot of information in those little paragraphs that are in between lines. So I read that, and I'm like, no, this has got to be a joke. And then I read it again. And I was in my living room, I'm like, Xander's there. I'm like, my eyes gone. And that hurt. I mean, that thing really hurt right away when Fillion did that. He was because not because he hurt me, but they had they take the thumb like this, and then they put like a half of a thumb here, so it looked kind of like that. So I mean, to me that was like that. And then they had a tube of blood, go up, and then when they put his thumb in, they just squirted the blood into my eye. Which then, so when you watch it, those screams of pain are actually really screams of pain. And then it's like, I forgot who directed us, and I'm like, all right, we got that right now, one more time. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, that sucked.
Would you have rather do this death scene?
No, a death scene? That's so boring. Unless also you liquefied my body, then I would do that. No, I don't ever want to die doing anything. If Xander had died, I probably wouldn't have shown up to work that day. You know what I mean? I probably wouldn't have let him die. I would have my lawyers call. Maybe you didn't read the contracts, but this guy came back. If he had died, it would have been. I would not. It's funny because I really had a hard time saying goodbye to the show because I had actually booked the pilot for Fox. And so we were in rehearsal, and I think we were actually shooting that night, and they had, I met with Ron, the creator of this particular pilot. It wasn't picked up, but I was missing all of our rehearsals because I was working on Buffy, so I think I had to shoot then, so I didn't have a chance to say goodbye to anybody. I had to leave. I then just go right to and shoot this sitcom. So I never really, had he died, I probably would have cried before, and gotten it out. But I still have dreams about Josh is called. Actually, we're gonna do season 8 of Buffy. I still have dreams, and then I have the dreams. Josh is called. We're doing season 8. but you're not in. You know, so I mean, as the character, no, because I'm happy that he's still alive. I mean, I think season 9 of the comic book comes out in June or July or something like that. So while I don't read it, it's nice to kind of come to these things and people, you know, give me the updates about what's going on, you know, the Dawn stuff, you know, the Buffy lesbian stuff, you know. And I look really good as a comic guy. Hold on, I'm gonna burp. Tune in. What a catch, right, baby? Right? That's right. Everything else is cleared up.
In the first episode of the first season, we were shown that you were skateboarding, and then we saw Buffy and you know the rest.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to the skateboarding ability in the rest of the episode?
Never had it to begin with. And I think they'd realized that, you know, because it was best for all parties that I don't skateboard. So yeah, it was kind of, and it's funny because yeah, he was a little skater kid, and I'm just not good at it. You know, I fall a lot. So yeah, no, but yeah, it's a very nice observation on that one. You know what's funny about like what Joss wanted to do, because Eric Balfour played my best friend in that, and actually, you know, Joss wanted to kind of fool the audience and have Eric Balfour in like the main titles, you know, and then so it was like from the beginning he knew that he wanted to kill people off. Like he wanted the audience to fall in love with him, and then he wanted to kill them. There was a hand over there.
Yeah, sort of two-parter.
Two-parter.
What's your favorite episode of Buffy? And secondly, did you take anything on the last day of shooting for Buffy just without permission?
My favorite episode of Buffy was probably Beer Bad. The one with Frankenstein. No, not that one. I think to do enjoyment-wise, the musical was great. Hush was just, I think, the scariest thing I'd seen. And then I love the one where Joss did, where it was like an apocalypse, where I was the cheese man, and then the apocalypse now. What was that one called? No, the Zeppo's great too. I mean, that's Restless, the Zeppo, and you know, the Pack was a favorite just because it was like my first main, and it was my first slow motion walking scene. And the great thing about like slow motion walking scenes is that like they actually shoot at the camera, so you just can walk normal, but I'm like doing this. Like Nikki, we actually film's going faster, so you just walk normal. Walk normal. But then you even kind of like walk different. I remember at one point, I think the one that you used, I kind of like, I hit my nose and this, you know, and I'm like wearing black for the first time, you know. It was cool to be cool for a second. But like, I remember I think my least favorite one, I mean, where like where when my feelings were hurt was in the one where there was some sort of, where all the girls fell in love with me. You know, and then again, there was another slow motion walking scene there, too, you know, but just a more terrifying one. But I remember in that episode, it was like, I was off camera for something, but you know, like, I mean, Xander was really getting ripped, you know, at this point. It's like, he's such a loser, you know, and it was like, I think it was season 3, because I was really starting to take this stuff personally, you know. It was weird. I was like, this has got to end at some point. So, it's amazing. I mean, you can definitely become the character, and I was really starting to get my feelings in. But I love slow motion. I know it wasn't a question about slow motion walking, but goddamn, I love to walk in slow motion. White shirt man. Right? No, did you point to point? Oh, did we just cross streams?
Besides the near-death experience, how'd you like working with Josh? Any decisions you guys
He's a mad scientist. You know, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, especially when it's the first thing that you've done, essentially. You know, and so it's kind of like you can never, like when you kind of want to start here and then we finish with that, you know. But when you start with the best, you know, it's kind of hard. So it's like, you know, for a long time, I couldn't, after Buffy ended, it's really hard to take people like seriously, you know, especially in Hollywood. So it's, you know, I did a show called Kitchen Confidential, and I respected Darren Star and his work, and then Dave Henningsen, who created the show. But you know, up until then, it was really, I was kind of like, you're not Joss, you know, which is not a good way to get another job, by the way. I highly do not recommend that. And don't take a 2-week hike. What's up? Well, no. Oh, he just wants to see his real dad. How's that feel?
As long as it's not you, I'm fine.
White shirt guy.
So, 2 questions since we're on the slow motion mode.
Right.
You talked about the
I will answer them in
the best fight scene ever filmed on television was the
Harmony and Tango. My favorite baseball player when I was a kid, I was, well, I'm a Dodger fan, so, you know, Vin Scully is kind of like, it's kind of like my grandfather. I remember the first Dodger game I went to, was probably in 1977, and I was sitting on the first baseline, and I was looking at Steve Garvey.
Yes.
Hi, son, I know.
Come on, see Dad. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm breathing the same air as Steve Garvey.
Yeah.
But then Steve Sachs became kind of my guy, because, you know, the 88 Dodgers was the last time. I'm trying to tell my girlfriend about the Kirk Gibson home run, and she just will not hear it. Stories about Bravo, stories about Panty. Can't show her for one footage of a home run. Yes!
I love the episode Nightmares. Did you enjoy Punching the Clown?
Yeah, that was a weird one, wasn't it? Yeah, that was, yeah, I don't like, you know, there was, I didn't like clowns before John Wayne Gacy started painting clowns. And if anybody doesn't know who John Wayne Gacy is, check that guy out. Wait, are you saying that you know who he is, or you are John Wayne Gacy? You want to see some freaky clowns, check out that serial killer. Whew. My friend at the time, sorry, actually owned one of his ritual pieces, which I'm like, that's disgusting. Whoa. Oh, you go. What was her reaction? I don't think she ever really knew, you know, because it just kind of, because since everything popped back in, you know, it just kind of, so, you know, I'm sure she wouldn't have been thrilled, but, you know, it was more about Kelly getting his job back and, you know, at least getting a second try than, yeah, so, but, you know, I mean, trust me, I've hurt my mom's feelings far worse than that. No, in a good way, she did. Yes.
Besides Kitchen Confidential not being run by Joss, did you have fun on that set? I mean, those scarves are awesome.
Oh, I know, I did. They brought out my what?
His quote from the show, nice scarf for really pretty.
My vagina, yeah. No, I love that show so much, and it was killed because of like political reasons and stuff. But you know, that was an awesome set. I mean, you know, it was just when you have Frank Langella as a recurring character on a show, you know, and then Coop is doing what Coop does, and apparently Johnny Cho lives in Silver Lake, where I'm going to be moving out to, so I'll be seeing him. But the scarf thing was my idea, and then I realized in the pilot, and then I realized that I gotta get rid of this fucking scarf, you know, because it's just, I'm over it. So I was gonna, had we gone, we would have had some sort of, not a bonfire. I think there would have been like an intervention. Like the guys would have said, you gotta get rid of the scarf now, you know. And then we just see like my next completely gone. Prison. Prison move. Yes, sir.
Was there any speculation as to, toward the end of the run of the show about directions for the next season or possible movie or movie?
You mean after the 7th season? Was there any? No, it's you know, Sarah had it. You know, God bless her. I mean, she was in pretty much every scene, except for a couple episodes where, you know, she took off. But you know, we had known that Sarah wasn't gonna be involved, So I think, without Buffy, we knew that it was going to take a break for a while. We thought, maybe we could get back together at some point. I know that Joss was thinking about doing a show with Tony about his, like The Ripper, and then I know that he wanted to do a TV movie with Spike, which I probably would have been in both, but we knew that was the last episode so in that aspect, we were able to say goodbye. There was no like, oh, let's hold on for hope. It was now, okay, and, actors are a crazy bunch because it's like, okay, now it's like on to the next thing, I gotta call my publicist, and it's just so stupid, Instead of like really savoring the moment, I had to kind of, not really appreciate it. No, I didn't take anything, by the way. I took my eye patch and I had the cast sign it and I auctioned it for some charity. There's one thing I took. Oh, and a shit ton of clothes. Like when I became a vampire, that black coat. Is it Barney's? It's a Barney's coat. And I remember I was in Tennessee doing some work and I left it there. And I worked it in. I had it like 3 years. I'm like, no. And I'm like, there's a double. So I go into the wardrobe and I'm like, see that? It's in my house still. I still own it. I wear it on rainy days.
Are you gonna be in the new Dr. Horrible? What?
I know. I didn't know there was going to be another one. Yeah, I mean, since I wasn't in the first Dr. Horrible. No, I mean, I talked to Josh about a year ago, and I'm like, listen, if you want to write something for me to sing again, I'll totally do it. I didn't use it. Is it good? The first Dr. Horrible? No, I'm not.
I can bring my laptop tomorrow and let you see it.
Yeah, okay. I know you will. Just let me know what time.
Whatever time's good for you.
Okay, I'll call you.
What's your number?
Yeah, hold on. 310.
555.
Daddy, mommy.
You did mention the Ripper project, because I was wondering, Josh mentioned that in San Diego a couple years back, was there a conflict between the BBC or why does that, the status of why that kind of happened?
I don't know. I mean, it's you would think if Joss Whedon's attached to anything, it's just gonna go, But it was weird because we were gonna do a cartoon, and everyone was gonna do. We're all gonna voice it except for Sarah. They got the girl from the video game, and that didn't. And Joss was attached to that. He was writing scripts for that. So, I'm sure. I don't know if there were like any like legal battles there, or if it was something schedule, or But all I know is that those are the two spin-offs that I knew of outside of course Angel. And then the Xander show, but I just flat turned that down. Like I can't act with one eye. It's really hard, by the way. You run into things. It's not pretty. Yes, ma'am. I do. I see them. I'm doing a few of these this year, so it's I see James a lot, which is great. I see Claire Kramer a lot, which is nice. I see Charisma. No woo. Well, I mean, I got 2 woos and then there's no woo. And then like periodically, like Allie's. I was seeing that because when I was shooting Kitchen, Allie, we were on the Fox stage. Her stage was here, and for How I Met Your Mother and ours was here, so we'd have lunch every day. But then when that show got canceled, I just got really pissed off. Took a 2-year sabbatical, but I didn't tell my agent. It's basically it's kind of here. Like at home, I'm just a lot more present. I just kind of, And we had 8 years, and I loved them all. But it was, 8 years.
So we probably have time for one more question.
And then the Snoopy dance. With, by the way, I should have done before, because now I've got to pull back. My bladder is filled with urine. I'm in hell. Yes, sir.
Do you want Brendon to find the leader again? Do you want your character?
What is like? So essentially, you're asking, do I like that relationship?
Do you want them to get back with Cordelia?
You know, probably not, because it's like the best thing about that story was the whole teenage angst aspect of it. I think Xander and Cordelia as adults would be really boring. You know, it might be fun to make out with her from time to time, but I just don't think you would have a compelling show. So, no, I would rather do fight. At the end of the day, love the cause of the table. All right, I'm gonna do the Snoopy dance. I'm gonna take it. Fuck off. All right.
And while he's taking everything out of his pockets,
Which you know, kids never do this. Don't start it.
That's bubble gum.
Too late.
If someone throws a needle in front of you, don't put it into your arm just because everyone else is. All right, hold on. I think I've got $3 if I lose this, by the way, at the Grand Hotel. Okie dokie, glasses off. Okay, everything else is good. All right, you ready? Okay.